All right, so it is 5:30. I'd like to welcome everybody to our September 1st Board of Commissioners meeting. Thank you all for being here. We'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we move into the prayer section, the opening invocation and Pledge of Allegiance, I do want to call attention to an event that happened this week. We did lose an icon in Pickens County. Mr. Jerry Barnes, who served as the Post 2 Commissioner, or Post 1 Commissioner of the West End of Pickens County, and sat right here next to me for the last year and a half that I was here, but he served for right at 10 years. His health had started declining, and it caused him to resign early in the month of July, and his health continued to decline and passed away over the weekend. He was laid to rest yesterday, and I think that a lot of us can remember Jerry as a commissioner. It goes back to when I played t-ball as a kid. He was my coach, so he's been just a pillar in so many different areas throughout our community, especially in the Hinton community. If you're from the West End, he had a passion for Hinton. He loved the community aspect. He helped to start the volunteer fire department there in 1985. I believe our fire service, Chief Prather and Director Elrod, and all the men and women that worked with them did an absolutely outstanding job yesterday to recognize him from a public safety standpoint. But in addition to that, one of the greatest things was to watch all county employees participate in the procession and reaching out to his family. But I just would like to ask us, before we lead into our prayer, to have just a moment of silence that we remember Jerry, and then right after that, if Kenny Woodard with Recycling, if you wouldn't mind doing the invocation for us. So, a moment of silence.
Most heavenly and precious Father, Lord, we come to you this time, Father, to gather together in this meeting here, Father. Father, we just want to say thank you for our town, for Jasper, for our county. Father, we just want to say that you watch over our commissioners as they take and vote and lead our county under the great leadership, Father. We ask you for the folks that come here today, Father, that you'll just keep them safe and take them back home. We just ask a special prayer tonight, Father, that you put your hands upon the Barnes family, touch them and help them, heal them to their sorrows, Father. Father, we just ask you to save the ones that are lost in this world, Father. Our public servants, Father, here, we just ask that you bless them and keep them safe and keep them out of harm's way. In the holy precious name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Miss Ashley Craig, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. I've just proven the ultimate leader mistake. When you have somebody that volunteers to do anything you ask them to do, and then you call on them to do something in public, they may stop doing the things that you ask them to do. So hopefully I'll get forgiveness for that one. As we move into the amendments on the agenda, I do have one item that I'd like to amend our agenda to include under new business, item B. It'd be an item to authorize the chairman to engage Attorney Ken Gerard to represent the clerk of Superior Court if necessary in pending litigation that's at hand. So I'd like to add that as item B under new business. Do we have any other items that needed to be included? Ms. Lisa?
Yes, sir.
Everybody else good? All right. With that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We move into our employee recognitions. It's always a fun time to get to recognize employees for their faithful service to the community. The first one I know is not here. If you're not aware, if you've been under a rock recently, Jeep Fest starts tonight. So the first employee that is on here is actually a member of the Sheriff's Office. And she's probably using that as an excuse to not be here because she really is not a huge fan of public gatherings. But Miss Katrina Roper has now reached her 10 years of faithful service with the Sheriff's Office. Has done an outstanding job working with them as well. But this weekend she is going to be very busy working with her volunteer side of her job, where she's going to be stepping out to try to welcome guests to Pickens County. So I'd like to recognize Miss Trina Roper for her 10 years of service. Our second 10-year of faithful service is Miss Ellie Moody, and I know Miss Ellie is here. She has done an outstanding job. She works with the Appalachian Judicial Circuit Accountability Courts and has served well for 10 years. And if you work in accountability courts, that 10 is really more like 20. So, if you don't mind, we'll step up front with you and present this to you. That's the fun part where you look. All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. It's always exciting to be able to do, showing that we've got some incredible men and women that work with us. Old business, have no old business that's carried over for our past meetings, so we'll move over into new business. New business, in the first item is just an announcement from ACCG. It was a group health benefits program grant. Pickens County was one of 20 counties in the state of Georgia to receive a health promotion and well-being grant. Thanks to the hard work of Ms. Paula and Ms. Kim and our human resources, we were able to receive a $2,000 grant from the ACCG to help with promotion of health and wellness programs. And like I said, we're one of 20 out of 159 counties that received that, so I'd love to announce that and thank Kim and Paula for doing such an outstanding job managing that program. The next item, as I mentioned during the amendments to the agenda, would be item B. Item B would be to authorize the chairman to engage Attorney Ken Gerard to represent the clerk of the court if necessary for pending litigation. We do have a pending litigation that involves multiple offices within the county. So to have our county attorney represent each side could potentially lead to a conflict that was there. So this gives us the opportunity to engage a separate attorney. Do I have an emotion to authorize myself to do that?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Carries, thank you. Under our action items, we will move through the approval of minutes. We do have 4 different sets of minutes. 3, we had the planning retreat that took place on August the 17th. These minutes were provided to each board member prior to tonight for their opportunity to review. Second set of minutes is from our regular meeting on August the 18th. Third set was from our work session on August the 18th. And we had a 4th set that was from a call meeting on August 29th to approve the advertisement of the millage rate. Hopefully you guys have all had an opportunity to read through the minutes as they've been presented, and if you've had a chance to look through them, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as they're presented?
Motion to approve. I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Lisa, for scrambling to get 4 sets of minutes done in just a short period of time. So we thank you for that. Next, we'll move into our Rezones portion of the meeting. I'm sure that none of you are here for this section of the meeting at all. So if you want to just endure with us, we'll go through. We do have 3 separate rezones that we're going to go through tonight. The first was a rezone request for a change in land use classification on parcel 47-005, Steve Tate Highway in Marble Hill, Georgia. The Planning Commission, or the Planning Office, received a completed application on March the 25th from Big Canoe Holdings LLC, requesting a change in the land use classification of neighborhood commercial to highway business. It's on a 2-acre tract located on Steve Tate Highway in Marble Hill, Georgia. The intended purpose of the rezone request approved was to construct a climate-controlled storage unit and RV boat storage. Public hearing was held on the 20th of June regarding the application in the Pickens room of the administrative building. And after reviewing the application and receiving staff reports and listening to public comments, the rezone was voted 3 yes, 2 no for approval of this parcel and tract. This now comes before the Board of Commissioners for a vote. Do I have a motion either for or against?
I make a movement to deny the amendment to the land use map.
Is We have a movement on the floor to deny. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do I have any discussion related?
I just want to state the reason I'm voting to deny. Most of the property bordering it is either NC or RR, not HB, especially the RR. It doesn't meet the development patterns to preserve rural character, scenic views, and environmentally sensitive resources, to limit grading and clearing. So, and under primary land uses, highway business is not supposed to be permitted there, it's neighborhood commercial. So for those reasons, that's why I'm making my motion.
Any other discussion? All right, so all in favor of the motion to deny?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move on to our next. The next is rezone, requesting land use classification on parcel 014003 or 033 on Shires Ford Road in Talking Rock, Georgia. The Pickens County Planning and Development Office received a completed application on June 22nd from Dan Poole on behalf of Edge Pool Properties, requesting a change in the land use classification of agricultural to suburban residential on 29.66 acres of the 49.41 acre tract located near Shires Ford Road, Talking Rock. The property currently has no private or county road access. The intended purpose of the rezone request, if approved, is to sell the 29.66 acre portion of the property to the neighboring property owners in exchange for permanent access to the remaining 19.75 acres. Public hearing was held on the 15th of August regarding the application, and the Planning Commission voted 4 yes, 0 no after receiving the staff report and listening to public comments. Do I have a motion for or against?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, our next rezone request is a request for a conditional use in agricultural land on parcel 068140, located at 328 Flowers Lane, Ball Ground, Georgia. Pickens County Planning and Development Office received a completed application on June the 24th from Rodney Buckingham on behalf of James Gibbs Jr., requesting special use permit for a retreat center, special use facility of agricultural land located at 328 Flower Lane, Ball Ground, Georgia. If approved, the special use facility would only be able to be accessed through the main entrance of Gibbs Garden, which is located in Cherokee County. The only access from Flower Lane would be for emergency 911 services if necessary. Public hearing was held on August the 15th regarding the application in the administrative building before the Planning Commission. After reviewing the application and receiving staff reports recommending the conditional use be approved, the Pickens County Planning Commission voted, actually they didn't vote, it was 0 yes, 0 no to approve. So there was no motion that was moved, no action was carried forward, so no recommendation was moved forward from the Planning Commission. With that, do I have a motion for or against?
Real quick, I'd like to say that I have to recuse myself on this vote, as Mr. Gibbs is a customer of the nursery where I work.
All right, so we will have a recusal from Commissioner Tatum. I have a motion.
Y'all bear with me. This one's a little more complicated and I wrote it down just so I didn't miss anything. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the conditional use request with the following stipulations. No outdoor amphitheater or any other outdoor structure which can be used for outdoor concerts, outdoor events, outdoor weddings, or similar outdoor activities can be constructed on the property. Any improvements to the property shall be, you'll have a 120-foot contiguous buffer to the neighboring landowners. The special use designation should only apply to the existing residential structure and shall not exceed the building footprint plus or minus 15 feet in any direction, and the hours of operation being limited to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is my motion.
All right, so we have a motion with additional requirements. Now, your motion included on the time was what time again?
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m. All right, I will second your motion. Any further discussion?
I would say that there was a lot of study that went into this. We reviewed the record. I watched the video of the Planning and Zoning Board multiple times. more times than I care to admit. This, I believe, is the best compromise between the existing landowners and Mr. Gibbs, so that he can do what he wants to on his property while also ensuring the privacy and the wishes of the surrounding property owners. So.
This is not a time for public comment at this point. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. With conditions. All right, so the next item on our agenda is guest comments at this point in time. If anyone have any comments, we will limit those to 2-minute comments. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm curious as to why the planning commission didn't have a vote on the Gibbs garden items.
There's really no way to answer that. There was a motion with no second.
Mr. Tippins watched the video more times than he cares to admit.
There was a motion with no second. There's no other indication as to why or how, so we wouldn't be able to speculate on that one.
There's no speculation, I'm just asking why they had no vote.
Right.
And that's in the record, right? I mean, that's in the video.
Yes, sir. The fact that it happened is on the record. Why they did it, we could not answer that question.
I'm sure they gave comments in the video.
As to why they did not. Any other comments? All right, no other comments? Yes, sir.
Yes, my name's Curtis Clark, for those who don't know me. I live up on Antioch Church Road. Unfortunately, I fall in Talking Rock Fire District, and as most of the people here are aware, or from the county anyway, that the Talking Rock Fire District recently received an ISO rating of 10, which means they virtually do not exist. This is going to cause a very large increase in property owners' insurances, especially businesses. So my question is the county looking at some short-term solution to this until it can be corrected by upgrading the fire department, seeing it's taken over or absorbing it into other fire districts so that the citizens that live in that district are not suffering the financial loss that is not of their making? And this has been coming down the pipe for quite a while. And I know it's Talking Rock's issue, but it affects so many people that are outside the city limits.
Yes.
Talking Rock.
I'll speak to that. I've met with Chief Prather and with Director Elrod. We met with the mayor of Talking Rock last week and spent a considerable amount of time going through the information that was received from ISO and looking at how to do that. It's a volunteer fire station, as you're aware, and many may not be aware, but it is a volunteer fire station. And in order to be classified as such, needs to have a certain number of volunteers that they fell below. So Chief Prather has kind of took the reins to work on the short-term solution of getting those volunteers in place to get that to where it's back considered active, and then reaching out to try to see if ISO would come back to reevaluate. So they have already started that process as of a week and a half ago to try to get that.
Well, I know from personal knowledge that the last splosh had money to build a fire station there that has not been built, a county fire station. And I was wondering if that money has been used elsewhere or if it still exists in the budget dedicated to the construction of that fire station. I understand it could not be built for that dollar amount now. There is no way. But
it was under a previous SPLOST, and after they didn't receive response back from Talking Rock at that time where they made the offer, they used those funds on other fire stations. So those funds were used elsewhere. We'll be looking as we try to prepare for a future SPLOST to try to look at ways to improve on facilities. But that particular opportunity that was a couple of years old, unfortunately wasn't capitalized on. So
well,
we'll move forward.
That's fine. And a future SPLOST would be great to build another fire station up there. But you're looking
right now,
3,
we just
4,
got to get more
5 years.
volunteers to get
We
that
need
back
something
active.
to correct and help the people whose insurances are going out of sight.
Yes, sir.
calls.
And we're fully aware, like I said, we had a several hour meeting actually with the mayor and tried to sit down and come up. The short-term fix is we've got to get more volunteers in that station, some more active, especially if we get, career fire service people that have the training and that are already involved and active to sign up, then that'll help us right away. And then we can start looking at trying to work with Talking Rock on a long-term solution.
Well, I understand the blight of volunteer fire people. Individuals, even career firefighters, do not have the spare time to volunteer like they used to.
Right.
It's just not there. So, that is a great short-term fix, but I live closer to Hinton than I do Talking Rock Fire Department. But unfortunately, my address falls under Talking Rock. So that'll be a discussion I will be having with my insurance company, so. But I just wanted, to, at the bottom line, get it on public notice that, this is going on and this is gonna cost people a lot of money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Any other comments? With no other comments, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you guys very much.